Felons deserve more rights, either awarded on a case-by-case basis or earned through good behavior over time. Today we'll talk about three main or common rights that felons lose when convicted, the stigma that reaches beyond the cell walls for felons into their life, how felons cope with the loss of these rights, and what can be done in the future to help felons regain the rights that they deserve. So in 1996, the Office of the Pardon Attorney released the report Civil Disabilities of Convicted Felons, a state-by-state survey, and that showed that every state has different laws governing not only what rights are taken away, but also the extent of that or the restrictions on that. So what they found is that there are three main rights that all felons lose. The first one would be disenfranchisement, or the right to vote. There, all but 3 states reinstate that right for felons after successful completion of incarceration and or a sentence of probation or parole. According to the website The Sentencing Project, which I viewed in October of 2012, 5.3 million Americans, which equals out to 1 in 40 adults, were unable to vote due to a felony conviction in the 2008 elections. This included 1.4 million African American men, more than 676,000 women, and 2.1 million ex-offenders who have completed their sentences. This year the figure is projected to be around 6 million. The second main or common right that is lost is jury exclusion. No chance to decide another's fate or to sit on a jury with your peers, such as what may have been done to you if you were a convicted felon. So you lose all rights to civic duty at that point. The last main common right would be the right to possess firearms. So it essentially becomes illegal to defend yourself legally. So Vicki Hankins, who was incarcerated in December of 1990 for selling cocaine, was released in 2008. She has applied for executive clemency 3 times and was denied all 3 times. And there is a new law in her state which prevents filing again until 2017. She is currently being barred from taking the Florida Bar Association test after completing law school. And according to the National Public Radio article for ex-felons, limited rights may in future hold from October 22nd of 2012, she stated, "Do you know how that feels? What that can do to someone's psyche? When you're told that you cannot vote, that you cannot have your civil rights back, ultimately what it's saying, in my opinion, is that we still do not accept you." That's what the legislators are saying. I'm still seen as an outcast. 20 years in prison is a long time. But how long does the suffering go on, or the punishment? In 1996, according to Kim Gilmore's article in History as a Weapon, Angela Davis, a political activist, was quoted as saying, "The 13th Amendment, when it abolished slavery, did so except for convicts. Through the prison system, the vestiges of slavery have persisted." So that right there, those 2 women exemplify why how the stigma reaches beyond the cell walls. It is very hard for a felon to gain gainful employment. You have to disclose that on a employment application. Every background check, every place does a background check now, and that's going to pop up. And if you've lied about it, you will automatically be discluded from this job that you have applied for. Same thing with renter applications, mortgage applications. Everything requires a background check nowadays. So what felons can do to fight back or to cope with this? The highest action would be a presidential pardon. And that is exactly what it sounds like, petitioning the president to pardon you from your previous actions. This would take away your record. It would restore all your rights. It's not a very common thing, but it has been done. The second step down from that would be to take state action. You would petition the governor for an expunged conviction. Laws vary from state to state. Some states will reinstate certain rights under certain conditions. However, an expunged conviction only takes away the record and does not technically restore rights, according to Black's Law Dictionary, the 6th edition from 1990. So the last thing that felons can do to try to get back their rights is to try and change the laws through legislature, electing senators, representatives, petitions, things like that. What we can do in the future is to try and instate a case-by-case reinstatement plan. We do case-by-case probations, case-by-case paroles. Why not do case-by-case reinstatement of rights? Rights could be earned through good behavior over time and allocated to ex-cons by their parole or probation officer. This would not only give the felon a sense of accomplishment, but perhaps better reacclimate them back into society. In conclusion, I want to reiterate the 3 main rights that are lost and the misconception of the loss of rights. A lot of people think that, you know, if you become a felon, then you have lost the right to vote forever, which is not always the case. Many felons are not atypical. Felony is a very broad category. It encompasses everything from a mother who wrote bad checks to feed her starving family to Jeffrey Dahmer, the serial killer. And to be labeled a felon can bring a stigma to your person that you may not want for something that was not quite that serious. Rights can be won back in a tough battle. The presidential pardon or executive clemency requires a lot of red tape and a lot of paperwork, but it can be done. And reforms can bring change to help our future as a nation, again, to better reacclimate felons into society and have a better working